The darkness of space stretched endlessly, dotted with distant stars that twinkled like scattered diamonds. Across the galaxy, alien races went about their usual routines, their fleets patrolling trade routes and keeping peace in their territories. For centuries, humanity had been nothing more than a whispered legend, a primitive species that barely made it out of their home planet. Most considered Earth unimportant, a backwater world not worth the attention of advanced civilizations. But beneath the calm surface of Earth, something extraordinary had been brewing. Deep within a secret orbital shipyard, a massive structure loomed, a battleship unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. Its hull was sleek yet heavily armored, a testament to human ingenuity. It gleamed with a dark metallic hue, reflecting the faint light of distant stars. This was not just a machine. It was a declaration, a promise that humanity would no longer be ignored. Captain Elena Hayes walked along the ship's bridge, her boots clicking softly against the reinforced flooring. Her eyes were sharp, scanning the array of holographic displays. Around her, the crew moved with practiced precision, each member fully aware of the weight of the mission ahead. "Status report," she said, her voice calm but commanding. "All systems green." "Captain," replied Lieutenant Harris, his fingers dancing across the console. "Weapons, shields, engines. Everything is operational. Ready for deployment." Elena nodded. She had spent years preparing for this moment. Every maneuver, every drill, every decision had led to this day. The galaxy thought they knew humans, but humans had learned in silence, hidden in plain sight, waiting for the right moment to reveal their true strength. Far beyond the solar system, in the territory of the Xylar Empire, an alien fleet detected unusual energy readings. The Xylar were a proud and ruthless species, their armor and weapons more advanced than most civilizations. But even they had underestimated Earth for centuries. "Commander Vrike," a Xylar officer said, his voice tense, "we are detecting a massive energy surge from the Sol system. It doesn't match any known human technology." Vrike's multifaceted eyes narrowed. "Impossible. Humans are weak, primitive. They cannot possibly produce a vessel capable of such energy output. Send a scout fleet. We need to see this for ourselves." The Xylar dispatched a small fleet of reconnaissance ships. They expected a primitive display, maybe a few outdated warships at most. What they did not expect was the silence before the storm. In the shadow of Jupiter, the human battleship emerged from its hidden warp gate. It moved with silent precision, its engines leaving no detectable trace. From the perspective of the Xylar scouts, the sudden appearance of such a massive vessel was terrifying. The hull was lined with weapons arrays. Energy shields pulsed with a soft blue glow, and its size alone dwarfed anything in the Xylar fleet. "Captain, sensors confirm multiple alien ships approaching," Lieutenant Harris reported. "They appear hostile." Elena's lips curved into a faint smile. "Good. Let them see what humans can do." The Xylar fleet opened fire first, confident that their numbers and experience would overwhelm the lone human ship. But the battleship was ready. Energy shields flared to life, absorbing the initial barrage with minimal impact. The human weapon systems responded with precision, targeting engines and weapons arrays on the Xylar ships. Explosions rocked the darkness of space as the scouts were disabled one by one, their crews stunned by the accuracy and speed of human response. One Xylar commander, struggling to maintain control of his ship, shouted in disbelief. This is impossible. How can one human vessel destroy us so easily?" Elena observed the battlefield calmly. She had studied countless alien tactics, learned their weaknesses, and trained her crew to exploit them. Humans might be small in number, but their ingenuity was unmatched. "Fire sequence Delta 3, she ordered. Human torpedoes launched in a perfect arc, striking the remaining scout ships with surgical precision. In minutes, the fleet that had come to intimidate Earth was nothing more than floating wreckage. The shock reverberated across the galaxy. News of the human battleship's emergence spread faster than any message or signal could travel. Civilizations that had ignored Earth now whispered in fear. The legends of humanity were true, but no one had imagined this scale of power. Back on the bridge, Elena turned to her crew. "Remember, we are not here to conquer. We are here to protect Earth. But if anyone doubts our strength, let this be a clear message. Humanity will not be ignored." Lieutenant Harris nodded. "The fleet is silent. No response from any other nearby civilizations yet." Elena's eyes narrowed. She knew this was only the beginning. The galaxy would come looking curious or hostile, and when they did, they would find a species that had learned to survive against impossible odds, a species that refused to be underestimated. Far away, the Xylar Empire convened an emergency council. Leaders from multiple star systems gathered, their voices rising in panic. Humans, they are not what we thought, one elder hissed. One battleship, one planet, and they have defeated our fleet. How is this possible? A strategist spoke next, his tone measured but grim. We assumed they were primitive. We assumed they could be intimidated. We assumed we could negotiate or conquer. All those assumptions were wrong. Humans are unpredictable and dangerous. The council fell silent. For the first time in their long history, they truly feared a single species. The human battleship was not just a weapon. It was a symbol of everything they had ignored. Humanity had watched, learned, and prepared in secret. And now, they had arrived. Meanwhile, in Earth's command center, scientists and military leaders monitored the aftermath of the engagement. Screens showed the wreckage of the Xylar scouts and the path of the battleship as it returned to orbit. The world held its breath, knowing that humanity's place in the galaxy had changed forever. This is only the first step, Elena said quietly, watching the stars. They will come. The galaxy will test us, but we will be ready. Humanity will show them that we are not to be trifled with. Not today, not ever. For hours, the battleship orbited Earth, a silent guardian in the black void of space. Below, people on Earth slept unaware of the new reality, unaware that their planet had just made a declaration stronger than any words could convey. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy had no choice but to cower, awed and terrified by what they had never thought possible. As the night passed, messages began arriving from other civilizations, some curious, some fearful, all wary. Earth had announced itself not through diplomacy, but through undeniable power. And as the battleship returned to its hidden hangar, Elena knew the message was clear. Humanity was no longer a species to be overlooked. The universe had underestimated humans for centuries. That mistake would never happen again. The galaxy trembled. Across distant star systems, alien leaders scrambled to understand what had happened near Earth. Intelligence reports flowed in, describing a single human battleship that had destroyed an entire scout fleet with precision and speed that no one had ever seen. The Xylar Empire, along with other civilizations, realized that humanity was no longer weak. They were dangerous, brilliant, and unpredictable. In the war room of the Xylar High Command, officers argued fiercely. We cannot allow humans to exist unchecked. One shouted, pounding a clawed fist against the table. They may have one ship now, but who knows what they will build next? A calmer strategist spoke up, his multifaceted eyes reflecting the holographic maps of nearby systems. Underestimating humans was our first mistake. Rushing to attack them now without understanding them will be our last. Their technology and tactics are unlike anything we have seen. We must proceed with caution. But caution was in short supply. Many systems had already decided that humanity must be confronted before it grew stronger. Fleets began mobilizing, combining their forces in preparation for what they believed would be an inevitable war. Yet they underestimated one critical factor. Humans were not predictable, and they thrived under pressure. Back on the Earth battleship, Captain Elena Hayes reviewed intelligence reports of the alien fleets. Her eyes scanned the numbers, noting the size, composition, and capabilities of each approaching force. The galaxy assumed fear would make humans cautious, hesitant, but Elena knew the opposite was true. Lieutenant Harris, she said, calculate the optimal defensive positions near the outer perimeter. Use gravitational anomalies and asteroid fields to our advantage. We'll make them fight on our terms. Harris nodded, quickly inputting the commands into the ship's navigation systems. Human ingenuity was not just about raw firepower. It was about strategy, deception, and adaptability. The first wave of alien ships arrived, their confidence apparent even through distant sensors. They believed their numbers alone would overwhelm a single battleship. But as they entered the perimeter of Earth's defenses, everything changed. The human battleship moved with silent grace, weaving through asteroid fields and gravitational distortions. Alien weapons designed for straightforward assaults found it difficult to track the ship. When they fired, The human vessel responded with calculated counterattacks, striking critical systems with minimal energy expenditure. Entire squadrons of alien ships were disabled before they even realized what had happened. On the bridge, Elena's voice was calm, but every order carried precision. Target the lead ship in the second wave. Use torpedo sequence Delta 4. Shields at full strength. Explosions illuminated the darkness of space. Alien commanders stared in disbelief as their fleets crumbled, ship by ship. They could not anticipate the humans' tactics, the way a single vessel could outmaneuver dozens of others, and the way the crew worked as one mind, anticipating every move. This cannot be, a Xylar admiral shouted over communications, his voice trembling. One ship, one human vessel, defeating our fleets. Elena's eyes remained steady. She had expected resistance, even large fleets. Humans were resourceful, and they did not panic. Every alien fleet sent after them fell into traps, ambushes, and strategic strikes that exploited their arrogance. Humanity had learned in silence for centuries, and now that knowledge was paying off in ways the galaxy had never imagined. Meanwhile, news of the human battleship spread faster than any signal could travel. Across star systems, other alien civilizations that had once mocked humanity now watched in awe and fear. They realized that Earth was not only capable of defending itself, but also capable of striking with unmatched precision. Some began reconsidering their alliances, knowing that an attack on Earth could provoke a response that might destroy entire fleets. Back on Earth, the battleship's mission was clear: protect the planet, deter aggression, and show the galaxy that humans were a force to be respected. Elena oversaw each engagement personally, guiding her crew with quiet confidence. Every maneuver, every decision, every strike was carefully calculated. The humans were small in number compared to the fleets they faced, but their brains, courage, and unity were unmatched. In the midst of battle, Elena allowed herself a rare moment of reflection. She thought of the generations of humans who had survived against impossible odds, who had learned to adapt, improvise, and endure. That resilience was now on full display, and the galaxy was witnessing it firsthand. One by one, alien fleets began retreating. The Xylar Empire, along with other nearby civilizations, convened emergency meetings. They had underestimated humans for centuries. They had assumed weakness where there was strength, hesitation where there was determination, and simplicity where there was genius. Humanity had proven them wrong at every turn. In the council chambers of the galaxy's ruling alliance, leaders whispered in fear and awe. "Humans, they are not to be trifled with," said one elder. "We cannot rely on numbers or technology alone. Their strategy, their coordination, it is unlike anything we have ever faced." Another voice spoke cautiously. "Perhaps we should seek diplomacy before further conflict. Humans have shown they can destroy entire fleets with ease. It may be wiser to negotiate than to fight." Even those who favored war were silent. Fear had replaced arrogance. The legends of humanity, once dismissed as myths, were now undeniable truths. Back on the battleship, Elena received a message from Earth Command. "Captain Hayes, the world celebrates your success. Humanity now knows it is not alone, and the galaxy is aware of our strength." Elena replied with quiet determination. "This is only the beginning. We must remain vigilant. The galaxy will test us again, but humanity will always be ready. We will protect our planet, our people, and our way of life. That is what makes us human." As the battleship returned to orbit, a new reality settled across the stars. Earth was no longer a backwater planet. Humans were no longer legends whispered in fear. They were a species to be reckoned with, one whose courage, ingenuity, and resolve had shaken the galaxy to its core. From that moment on, alien fleets approached Earth with caution. Diplomats came seeking parley, curious about this species that could defeat entire fleets with a single ship. Some came with fear, some with respect, but all knew one truth: humans were no longer to be underestimated. Elena stood on the bridge, staring out into the vastness of space. The stars seemed brighter now, filled with possibilities. Humanity had revealed its strength, but it had also sent a message of hope, that intelligence, courage, and determination could stand against any odds. For the first time in history, the galaxy had learned to fear and respect humanity, and for humans the future was no longer about hiding, surviving, or being underestimated. It was about rising, claiming their place among the stars. and showing the universe that when humanity fought, they fought with everything they had, and that they would never be ignored again. As Earth celebrated quietly below, Captain Elena Hayes prepared for the next challenge. More fleets would come, more civilizations would test humanity's resolve, and more battles would loom. But she knew one unshakable truth. Humans had arrived in the galaxy, and the galaxy would never forget their name. The battleship's engines hummed softly, a silent guardian in the void of space. And as the stars stretched endlessly ahead, humanity's story was only beginning.